I would say this is a step in the right direction. This is the new Seiko SRPL85. There was 4 colorways released with this one, and they're calling it the SKX series. Well, go back a few years when Seiko released the Seiko 5 sports lineup like this, in this more SKX style case. There was a lot of people that were like, what are you doing? That's not an SKX, right? Because SKX is this. It's 200 meter water resist. They look the same. This is 100 meter water resist. Really the biggest drawback I think that most people would complain about would be the lack of screw down crown. This is just a push pull crown. You just pop it out, push it in. It's easy to use, easy to manipulate. 99.9% of the people out there that are wearing these watches, that is completely fine. It's still 100 meter water resist. You could still swim with it. You could still get it wet. You could do all those things. Just keep the crown pushed in, right? But there's something with it being more of a dive watch. We all want that screw down crown, including myself. I get it. You don't need it, but we sure as enough want it. And if you're going to go through the trouble of doing that, why don't you just give us a sapphire crystal too? Seiko can clearly do both those things. So, I love the way these look. But Seiko, if you're going to do it, do it. If you're going to come out with an SKX series, just do the screw down crown. Make it 200 meter water resist. Give it a sapphire crystal. Mark it up a few $100. It is what it is. These are great. But I'm going to tell you what, these I think are very good looking and they're going to sell well. I don't want to make it sound like I'm super dogging on it. I'm just saying the things out loud, right? Because you're thinking the same thing. Great looking watch. It would be cooler if you did this. But we got what we got. There's 4 colorways. They're very iconic to the SKX lineup. There's this one, which is clearly the black dial. The big difference is it has the square markers. This was the SKX 173 when it was the SKX. This is essentially what it kind of looked like. There's a yellow one, that would be the SKX 835. I might be messing up numbers. There was the orange one, and they're all like the square markers. So they're older, less known about, more kind of rare at this point SKX models. So it's kind of a homage reissue of those, but they kept the price point down. Because these are only $425, so they're in that Seiko 5 Sports lineup. Speaking of which, now that we're 3 minutes in and me on my podium or whatever, big thanks to Jake and the crew at Trifecta Watches, Lafayette, Indiana. That's where their brick and mortar is, but you can buy it online. I'll put a direct link to this watch, as well as all the contact information and a discount code that may or may not work on this. Probably works. So if you're interested in picking one of these up, I think it's a great looking watch. You get the drilled lugs, you get the solid end links, you have a legit good bracelet. It's not like the jingle one. It's actually, I mean, it's still, that's mostly plastic on there. It doesn't have the dive extension, but I don't need it. You probably don't need it either. I believe it's a split pin because they have the arrows. That's totally fine. That's easy to size. 120 click bezel. And the bezel insert on this is glass. So it's probably also hardlex or some sort of mineral. Also, the crystal is chamfered and domed, whereas the old ones were just flat. And you have a display case back. So these are all really cool things. Size-wise, basically the same size as the old SKX. A little bit thicker because of the dome, but 42.4 millimeter wide, lug to lug's 46.1, thickness is 14.3. The old SKX like these is 13.5. So domed or flat, whatever, it's going to add a little bit of thickness to it. 22 millimeter lug opening. The bracelet tapers down to 20, and then you have a 7 millimeter push pull crown. The automatic movement inside is the 4R36. That's a nice, good all around movement. No really need to go to the 6R or the 8L or anything like that. The 4R performs It does good. Quite frankly, I was completely happy with the 7S, but it doesn't hack and it doesn't hand wind. So you kind of have to get with the times. That's where the 4R kicks in. So good job there. 100 meter water resist. I think we covered everything. I can do a little bit of close up. You can see it has a bit of a glossier dial, and then you have a nice clean handset. Date, of course. Made in Japan. Good finishing. Let's pop it on my 7 1/4 inch wrist so you can see what that looks like. I can tell you what it feels like. Feels like a Seiko. Feels like home. I have worn a Seiko SKX or SKX style watch probably more than any other watch I've ever had. I can kind of say that because the Seiko Monster, technically when they first came out, were also SKXs. There was a 781 and the 779. This is just a newer gen, so it went into the SRPs, but technically they were originally SKXs. So bit of a loophole, but if you give me that leash, I will take it. Lume shot, let's do it. Oh, you know what? I should charge up the old SKX so you can see old versus new, or new versus old, or however you want to phrase that. Can never really go wrong with the Seiko Lume. I mean, look at the old SKX on the left. Still right up there with any of the new ones. Very cool. I like that bevel. You can see it plays with both of them a little bit. And then that dome helps it fight distortion a little bit. So thanks for watching, guys. Tell Trifecta I sent you. I'll see you on the next one.